is very, very strong. I like that in her. She's the type of young woman who is just all set, ready to go, and just take a big bite out of life.
Greetings and welcome to my show. Today is Saturday, July 12th, 2025. It is 5:47 p.m. Today I am revisiting a song I made in the year 2000 called The Princess of Wands. Back then, I made it using tracker software and a cassette tape of a reading I got at a psychic fair. I've now recreated the song on the Digitakt II, which is a drum computer and stereo sampler. Let's hear how it sounds, and then I'll explain what I did.
Let's get this started. This will be a full Celtic cross reading on February the 11th, 2000, here at the Psychic Fair in Toronto. First, shuffle the cards. I'll lay out the cards in the whole Celtic cross spread for you. Next thing I do, have you choose 3 cards, if you will. The only thing I ask you to do when you choose those cards is use your left hand when you choose the cards. That's your psychic hand. And try not to think about it. Just sort of let your hand do the choosing for you, okay? What tiny, beautiful hands you have. Oh, they're so delicate but yet strong looking at the same time. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. That looks nice. I like that. Back to the center here, and the Princess of Wands. I'll turn her so you can see her. Princess of Wands, first and foremost, she's very strong. Her spirit is very, very strong. I like that in her. She's the type of young woman who is just all set, ready to go, and just take a big bite out of life. You notice here that her wand, that little beaver is on the card. They're giving her the wand. Now this is very important. The card tells a story, and the story is, it's almost like a tale of mythology that surrounds the card and it surrounds your spirit. Now, the beaver one day saw the beautiful princess walking through the forest. He was swimming around his little pool there. And when he saw her walking all by herself, all alone in the forest, he connected with her inner spirit, and he saw how strong and how courageous she was, because she's got a lot of courage. So he hustled his little self off, and he gnawed down an oak tree. And out of the oak tree, he fashioned the beautiful wand and gave it to her. So what this is saying is it's equating your inner spirit with that of the oak. People who have an oak for a spirit means, of course, that they're strong, they're courageous, and even when things frighten them a great deal, they still have the gumption to get up and get at it and still go. I have a nickname for this card. I call her the survivor, because she survives the storms of life, and she does it with such wonderful courage and strength. I like that about her. I like that in her. What tiny, beautiful hands you have.
And that was The Princess of Wands on the Digitakt II. This is the 4th song I've resurrected from my year 2000 demo CD era. Check out my previous vlogs for the first 3 songs. This one, The Princess of Wands, made it onto multiple demo CDs under different project names. Back then, I called my music project Film of the Book until someone said it sounded pretentious. So I grudgingly changed it a couple of times. Let me show you. I'm trying a new lighting setup. So there's a light here. The light is there. So you're going to see some glare. Some glare on these CDs. Okay, so this is the film of the book demo CD. Here's the track listing. But The Princess of Wands, it's not actually on this CD. It's on this one from April 23rd, 2000. Here, The Princess of Wands. It's on this one, Skinny Tie Pop. That was one of my band names. June 10th, 2000. Here it is, The Princess of Wands, track 4. And this one, it's on here too. Skinny Tie Pop, again. July 20th, 2000. The Princess of Wands. And it's on this printout. Naval for Eve Demo Volume 1, 2002. Track 1, The Princess of Wands. So on the very first Naval for Eve demo CD, it was on there, along with these songs. And none of these songs, aside from Reindeer, but this is a really different version of Reindeer. So none of these songs were ever officially released as a Naval for Eve song. Now, a word or two on the song. To prevent myself from rambling for hours on this, I have prepared 5 questions that I'm going to answer as quickly as possible. And I'm going to read my notes so I get this over with. So question 1, when did you make this song and what was going on in your life around that time? So I made it in the year 2000. I was in my final year of film and TV production, specializing in post-audio. I made a tracker instrumental called I Watch You Sleep. Then a few weeks later, I went to my first ever psychic fair. I picked a booth that offered a student discount and a cassette tape recording of the reading, which I still have. Here it is. Can you read that? Probably not. So I'll put it under this camera that has the glaring light. Psychic fair, Christina, February 11th, 2000. Naturally, I sampled the reading, and it became the vocal for I Watch You Sleep. And then I renamed the song to something less creepy, The Princess of Wands. Question 2, what inspired the sound or musical direction, style, mood, artist, etc.? I think it started with me loading a bass sample and me doing the classic Gary Newman octave riff. You know that 2-finger thing, like in the song Metal? Insert a clip. Something? Actually, let me demonstrate that on the Digitakt here. Okay, so Metal. And then Princess of Wands. That is how I came up with the riff, or whatever, the bass line. Then there's the rolling hi-hats, which remind me of rap music. Let me isolate that. After much detective work, checking what rap song came out around the year 2000 that had rolling hi-hats, I've concluded I was probably channeling Back That Ass Up by Juvenile. And once I added the psychic reading sample, it reminded me of Little Fluffy Clouds by The Orb, which I think is ambient house or something. Except instead of clouds and childhood, it's what tiny beautiful hands you have. Question 3, what tools or methods did you use to make it? Gear, format, process. Made in ModPlug Tracker, the original file was titled iwatchyouSleep.it. Took the psychic reading from the cassette and loaded it into Pro Tools at school, and then chopped it up like I was editing film dialogue. Burnt the final vocal on a CDR that still works. Here it is. CD. Let's put it under the glaring lights. Pro Tools recordings on audio CD, December 22nd, 2000. I'm Rotting Past Daddy. Reverse, I'm Rotting Past Daddy. Reverse, reverse. Those are the vocals for In the Ossuary, which I released on the debut EP Go 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 in the year 2002. And then a bunch of Landstram Graham stems, guitar, synth, bass, etc. That's a song by Mylène Farmer, a French music artist, the French Madonna. So that's me attempting to cover that song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Reindeer Ode Home version, Titan Fox. Yeah, the vocal tracks for the original Reindeer song, which I will share one of these days. And then here, between number 10 and 11, The Princess of Wands, Psychic Reading. Pro Tools recordings on audio CD, December 22nd, 2000. On a verbatim CD, take that, smug future shop guy who said the cheaper ones would stop working by 2005. Who's obsolete now, future shop? Question 4. Did the title come first or after the song was done? No, the reading came first. The card I pulled in the reading was The Princess of Wands, so I made that the title. It sounded cooler than I Watch You Sleep, which in hindsight kind of sounds like something a film student would write. You know, the kind that names their music project Film of the Book. Question 5. What is this song about? At first I thought it was just a psychic reading because I had gone to a psychic fair. She said, faux Celtic crossbred in the recording. But I didn't realize that was a tarot thing until last year when I fell down the tarot rabbit hole. There's a Queen of Wands, there's a Celtic cross, but no Princess of Wands. Even my tarot friend was like, never heard of her. If a god of tarot is watching, please clarify. I never cared for tarot until last year. I used to pronounce it tarot. Like, isn't that a vegetable? And honestly, if I hadn't realized this was a tarot reading, I probably wouldn't have chosen to recreate it. This whole time, I thought it was just a psychic reading that didn't come true. She went on about some romance thing. And even during the reading, I was already scoffing at it. That's why that part's not in the song. But realizing it was tarot and that I pulled The Princess of Wands kind of changed how I hear the whole thing now. Groove Breakdown Digitakt II demo. Let's talk about how the song's actually built on the Digitakt II. Let me put my headphones on. The main groove is pattern 24. This is what it sounds like. Track 1, kick drum. Track 2 is snare. Track 3, toms. Track 4, I don't think that's anything. Track 5, the rolling hi-hats. Track 6, Santa Claus. No, I think that's a tambourine. 7, nothing. 8, nothing. 9, the bass. The Gary Newman octave bass riff. 10, choir. Choir number 1. 11 is choir number 2. 12. Bells. My favorite sample. 13 is nothing. 14 is the Lazer hit. You can barely hear it. 15 15 is also some lasers, some crazier lasers. And then 16 is the vocal.
Saw her walking all by herself, all alone in the forest. He connected with her inner spirit, and he saw how strong. Saw her walking all by herself, all alone in the forest. He connected with her inner spirit, and he saw how strong. Saw her walking all by herself, all alone in the forest. He connected with her inner spirit, and he saw how strong. Saw her walking all by herself, all alone.
Okay. So let's compare that with the main groove in the original tracker song. This time, I am going to screen record the computer. Okay, yeah, let me get this started. Here is the Princess of Wands original tracker song. So I made this in ModPlug tracker, but here I have it opened up in Schism tracker on my MacBook Pro. So the main, okay, let's see how I could do this. F2, and I think, what was it? 24. Oh, pattern 24. F6. Did I compare it? Is my comparison over? Next is time to over-explain everything. The recreation process. So this song was the easiest song to remake so far. And I should have started with this one instead of Reindeer. So that was the one that had the vocal chop, BS. And then Vinegar Tom, that's the one that had the pitch slide fail, BS. And Terra Eyes, the one that had the monophonic pad, BS. Aside from that, why this song was the easiest to remake so far. Only 8 samples and just 14 tracks and 31 patterns, mostly repetitive. And then translating the tracker song to Ableton was mostly duplicating patterns, showing you the Ableton live session. Not as crazy as the first 3 songs. 31 patterns. Okay, workflow recap. So originally was made in ModPlug tracker in the year 2000, and then rebuilt it in Ableton Live 11 to clean it up and map the structure. Then I prepped it for Digitakt II. I did something different this time. So I did resample the samples. Oh, I'll explain that and show that later. So I resampled and organized the song, and then I did the final tweaks on the Digitakt II. Yeah, so I use a MacBook Pro now, and Schism Tracker runs on the Mac. So I use Schism Tracker to extract old samples and pattern data. Let me show you the screen. I discovered if you press Shift F9, this comes up. Message editor, so song notes. So that means this song was originally written using ModPlug tracker on January 26, 2000. And it's the 227th song that I wrote. Since then, I've only written 10 songs. Probably. And I Watch You Sleep. So that's the original song title. And while I was translating the song to Ableton Live, I was shook to find out that it had no kick drum in the original. How dare past me from the year 2000. No kick drum. Okay, so I added one. Yeah, I added one. So that kick drum, I added that kick drum. So before, with the kick. You can't really hear the kick, which makes sense. because for 25 years, I didn't notice it was missing. But it does make a difference, and it needs the kick. All right, next section is vocal rescue mission. So the vocal stem survived on a CDR burned in 2000. Where is it here? Let me get it. Verbatim CDR in your face, future shop guy. Ripped it using my ancient 2006 PC and iTunes. Cleaned it up with RX voice denoiser, just enough to preserve the psychic fair ambience. Oh yes, I wanted to demonstrate that. This is the Princess of Wands resample Ableton project. So first I had digitized the entire psychic reading from the cassette tape. How long was that? A 22-minute psychic reading. Guess I'll play a little clip. Yeah, there's some processing on here. Let me get rid of that.
Let's get this started. This will be a full Celtic cross reading on February the 11th, 2000, and we are at the Psychic Fair in Toronto.
I was going to show you what I did, but the file is offline. Okay. But anyways, that was the original without the hiss. I cleaned it up using RX denoiser and wrote off some of the low end. It was like 120 hertz. I do have the after, so where is it? This is the cleanup.
This will be a full Celtic cross reading on February the 11th, 2000, and we are at the Psychic.
I think that was a bad demonstration. Next section here. Ableton fixes before Digitakt. So Digitakt II has limited mixing tools, so I fixed stuff ahead of time. Okay, bass is called gate. The name of the samples, gates. Original gate, okay? That's what it sounds like. So the original sounded weak, so I added spectral resonator to beef it up. See how this looks. So there's a dry signal and then here, spectral resonator. Oh, and looks like little altar boy as well. Really? Cartoon. Okay. This is a third-party plugin by Soundtoys. I don't know what's going on. But anyways. That's what I did to the bass. And then also the Lazer. Okay, Lazer hits. So I processed and resampled the lasers because, again, the original was weak sounding. Original Lazer. I needed that to sound like an evil robot. Okay. So what did I do? I added, I call it the robot. It's basically the spectral resonator to make it, evil robot sounding. LFO, random LFO on the resonator high. Is that high filter? What is that? HF, high frequency damping. Okay, so that's it's modulating it. And then I added that little altar boy to make it sound even more like an evil robot. This hard tuned, right? Look at that. Digitakt II sound design. Okay, so first up, the Lazer hits. Lazer hits retrig. What is retrig? I'm going to try to explain that. Retrig explained badly. It's about to happen. So retrig is when you trigger something and then you re-trigger it. Obviously, give you an example. So you trigger it, and then you trigger it again. You know what? Let me Google this because I don't think that's correct. So Google, what is re-trigger? Re-trigger means to activate or trigger something again, or to initiate a process a second time. See, I told you. Okay. What is re-trigger? Music production. In music production, re-triggering refers to the action of resetting a sound's parameters, often related to oscillators or envelopes, with each new note played. I guess so, but that's not how I used it in this case. Let me explain. So I use retrig to make fast notes. Yeah, make fast notes. In the tracker world, there's an effect called retrig, which is represented by the letter Q. Here's the Princess of Wands. I have isolated or soloed the Lazer hits. So you see this letter Q. That's the retrig Q. Where is it? Q. Retrigger note. Every Y ticks with volume modifier X. Yeah, sorry, that's even more confusing. So anyways, in the tracker wheel, you see each step here. If you count them all in a pattern, you have 64 steps. So each step is basically a 16th note. But say you want a faster note, like a 30-second note. How do you do that? You use the Q effect, the retrigger effect, and then you put a value in there. So I have 64. Let's see if I can do this. How to use track? I want to copy. Copy. How the hell do you copy? So the Schism tracker is based on Impulse Tracker, which is like an MS-DOS program, and you can't use a mouse. As soon as I discovered ModPlug Tracker, where you can use a mouse because it's Windows, it's a Windows program. That's why I jumped to ModPlug Tracker and started using that and wrote 300 songs. Okay. How do you copy this shit? And I don't know how to use it. I'll just delete it so you can compare. So I know how to delete. Press the period button. Okay, so you don't get any of the fast notes. With the triggers. So I use it to make faster notes to get that machine gun sound, or in this case, laser gun sounds. So I needed fast 30-second notes, and I demonstrated how you do that using tracker software, and then translating that in Ableton. Just add 30-second notes, just like this right here. So these little notes are the 30-second notes. This is the laser hits with the Evo robot processing. Right, so easy enough. You just make 30-second notes, or right click 32. Then you have the divisions. Double click there. You make the fast notes. Easy enough. But Digitakt II, not so fast. Not so fast. What I do to make this whole process, recreating tracker songs on the Digitakt II, to make that process efficient, is I do MIDI recording. So I MIDI recorded the laser hits sequence on the Digitakt II, but MIDI recorded 30-second notes they didn't land clean. Because the Digitakt II, the trigs or the steps, they are 16th notes. Plus, retrig needs to be manually toggled per trig on the Digitakt II. It took a while because there are a lot of Lazer hits in this song. But compared to vocal chops and pitch slides and monophonic pads, that BS, honestly, the retrig thing, it's not that bad. So I am going to play a retrig demo. This is what it sounds like MIDI recorded without the manual retrig. So you can't tell, it does sound a little janky. And then compare this mode. The retrig is in this trig menu. Press it again, and then here it is, retrig, and then this dial turns it on and off. Okay. If I turn it on, then all the trigs, all the notes will have the retrigger. Which is too crazy, so I just want that retrig on a couple of the notes. For example, like these ones. So I'll turn the retrig off, and then for these ones, parameter lock it, press it down, turn the retrig, and now only this one has the retrig. Play it. Okay, just that one has it. Now I want to put it on here. These two retrigs. So that was retrig explained badly. Continuing, next is Lazer hits modulation. Before I was explaining how the original Lazer hits sounded weak, and I wanted to process it to sound sound more like an evil robot. And I don't know, came up with something cool in Ableton Live using the spectral resonator and little alter boy. The thing that made it cool was there was modulation, like that random LFO that was going on in Ableton. And then I realized on the Digitakt II, there's no effect like the spectral resonator. So what did I do instead? I just played around with stuff on the modulation page. Like I did resample like one hit of the Lazer hits with the spectral resonator and little alter boy. And this is what it sounds like on the Digitakt. Could be more interesting. So I came up with some modulation, and I just played around with whatever. So on modulation page number 2, it's just a random pan. I walked through this process in the previous blogs. So it's basically a random waveform targeting the pan. So it goes back and forth. And then the depth is 25. So just something subtle. Something subtle. But the major modulation that I did, and it took me a while to come up with something cool, was this. Modulation. Okay, so I modulated the sample rate reduction is what I did. Sample rate reduction. Try to explain that badly. So you're reducing the sample rate, basically. And when you do that, it sounds like old school video game sounds. Here is a demonstration. So in the effects page, SRR, sample rate reduction. I'm going to turn it up. Right. So what does that sound like? It sounds like the thrusters in the Atari video game Defender. Fun fact, that was my very first Atari 2600 video game, Defender. Okay, so instead of me sitting here and turning this while the song plays, I used an LFO to do that. So here we are. The depth. This is max. That's too much. So played around and 72. I'll make it. Okay. But even that was still repetitive. So I used mod 3 on the random waveform to target mod 1. The waveform, cycle through them. Okay, this is such a bad explanation. So, and then I maxed it up, so then you get this. Okay. In the context with the rest of the song. But that was still lacking. So what I did was I made a duplicate track, which is number 14, but used the original weak laser hit and the version that doesn't have the re-triggers, and this is when it sounds like together. It just sounds more full that way. It sounds chaotic, but that's what I was aiming for. Honestly, it saved the song. Yeah, it saved the song. Without the chaotic laser hits, the song would have sounded like back that ass up. Next, choir pad. Do I want to talk about this? It's like repeating the monophonic pad nightmare that I went through in the last song. So this is the original choir sample loaded in raw, no processing. So you can see the notes don't sustain. So in an attempt to sustain it, the notes, I tried to loop it. So turn on the loop, forward loop, and then try to find, what am I doing? A loop point. So you hear that clicking. Right? It sounds bad, so it looped poorly. And I didn't want to deal with that. So what did I do? How did I fix this? I resampled longer versions in Ableton with release tails. To give you an example, so this is the short version. It sounds nice. There's no like clicking, right? Why is that? Because you can zoom in on Ableton. Look for a zero crossing. You can't do that on the Digitakt II. Basically, that's what I did. So I made a long note like this, sampled it. I also, there's the release, something like that, and then this is what it sounds like now. Just one long note. Okay. And then I loaded that into the Digitakt. Here it is, choir long, yeah. Okay, play it. So there's the long sample. Nice long note. And then at the end, a nice release. And then added effects and all that stuff. Whatever delay, whatever reverb chorus, made it sound nice. Yeah, compare it before and after, trying to recreate the bullshit that I went through before. It sounds like a lo-fi celestial being with throat issues. And then the after. Gave that celestial being a lozenge, which I also sorely need right now. I'm talking for how many hours now? 9:14 p.m. What the fuck? Bonus chapter. I've been taking weekly drum lessons for almost 2 years now. Let's see what I have to show for it. Fucking hell, man. Suck. Alright, stop that shit. Holy. Stop this. Did I even start recording? What time is it? It is 9:19 p.m. Time to stop. How many hours? When did I start? I don't know. Even with reading my notes, it still took how many hours to record this vlog? And like that lo-fi celestial being, I need a lozenge. So that was The Princess of Wands, a chill song with a tarot reading that turns into a laser fight and probably inspired by Back That Ass Up. That was song number 4 from my ancient tracker demo CD era. I'm thinking of doing one more and calling it an EP. But which song will it be? Maybe the one where I sampled a skit of me and my sister pretending to be Shonen Knife covering the Ramones. Here's a preview.
Hey ho, let's go! Hey ho, you know that song? It's by Ramones. They're really good. Yeah. Hey ho, let's go! Hey ho, you know that song? It's by Ramones. They're really good. Yeah. Hey ho.
I hope you enjoyed my presentation of The Princess of Wands. Join me again next time when I do something else.